Hey everybody. Well, this is the mythical Electro-Harmonix Ravish Sitar. It's actually the second one I've owned. I hope you'll consider watching as I try to review the pedal and also make it work, which is sort of a task in and of itself. Hope you'll consider watching. Yeah, this is the second Ravish Sitar pedal I've owned. The first one I owned right away during the pandemic, which was when I started this channel. So it's one of the early videos I did because I really started this panel during the pandemic when nothing else was going on and, you know, everything was all closed down. So that's one reason sometimes I think about turning this channel off, but I guess we'll keep it going at this point, huh? But that's the Ravish Sitar. And, you know, when I first got this is the second one I bought, but I did a kind of a playing review of it, as it were. But in that one, I had some delay. I had, I think, a light fuzz on it, some reverb. And I thought I got a pretty good sounding sound out of it. I don't really remember what I did, but I came across some things. This time I've got a new one. We're just going to try to play it. We're going to try to work through the settings. No fuzz, no delay. We're going to see what we get. I hope you'll check it out. We finally got this thing working a little bit. And boy, it's complicated. Those are the controls recommended in the manual, but we finally got the preset button, or the status button. And then this, I don't even know. And I'm not finding these lights change here like they're supposed to. Let's see. There's some XD. Who knows? You know what, everybody? We're just going to see what we get here. These lights are changing. You got sharp, major, minor, exotic. Let's go to exotic. It's a sitar pedal. Let's get it down here to exotic. There we go. Exotic. All right. Now we're going to, I guess, start here. 1E. Who knows? Ooh, man. This is one case where you might actually want to read the directions. You know, I always say if I have to read the directions, I don't want it, because if you have to read the directions, that might mean it sounds bad. And this is one of those pedals where if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to sound bad. And I've always said I don't like pedals that make you sound bad. I don't care if they make you sound great, but if you turn it on and it sounds bad, to me that's a red flag. And this is one of those, it sounds bad, and you got to really hunt around for sounds that are good pedals. So if you don't mind that, there are some kind of one-of-a-kind sounds in here, I guess like a sitar, right? That's what they said, to have it on 12 here and 10 on there. Let's try. By the way, I get that that's a sort of an Arab scale I use whenever I try to emulate this sound. Certainly, and I always play it in D, but it's D, E flat, F sharp. That's kind of an unusual jump. D, E flat, F sharp. That's a interval that's popular in Middle Eastern music. Then I end on a E, so I don't know if that's, you want to call it a scale, but anyway, boy, let's mess with it a little bit. Oh, wait. So, but this is one case where you might want to read the directions. And I tried to make some sense out of it, but you've got, you know, the dry, then you've got lead, which I think controls your lead volume, but that's, this thing, you're not going to be using this as a rhythm guitar player much, I don't think. Then you've got these two sympathetic knobs, and for some reason it said to have this sympathetic knob at noon and this sympathetic knob at about 10 o'clock. So it's got a little thing in here that tells you where to put them, and I just left them there. And I did mess with it. I just ended up doing the preset. So let's see what we got. Anyway, so there, it's got kind of a big pedal. I think those sympathetic settings are a really kind of unique, important part of the pedal that makes it pretty different. I had one a while back. I did a video on it. You can see it on this channel. I think it's called Turning My Strat into a Sitar. But I never did a proper review of it. At the time, I didn't think I understood the pedal that well. Let's try. Boy, oh boy. I actually did have a oud for a while, and one of those Godin Multi-Ouds, and I also bought an oud, so I'm actually kind of interested in this type of music. Where are the belly dancers? Let's try to play in the key E, see what that does. Boy, oh boy, it's weird. You can hardly play. It makes so many overtone noises. You've got to pick slow. But and I mess with the so-called Arab scale sometimes. But I actually thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool, like, you know, to go in Atlanta and maybe play at a belly dancing gig. I don't know if they'd ever hire me to do a belly dancing gig, but I wouldn't mind doing, you know, just something kind of fun like that. But boy, oh boy. I wouldn't do it with this. I'd get a regular oud or a sitar or something. But this does kind of emulate the sounds, but it's too much sugar for $1. That's my take. Now they do have some other ones. There's a Dan Electro sitar pedal. There's one or two others. Some people recommend other over this one. But this is not I had this on a pedal board at one point. And it was supposed to be my ambient guitar pedal board. You know, I kind of decided I was going to have a special designated ambient guitar pedal board, and this was on there. But you push these buttons, you don't know what you're going to get, and it's a very kind of jarring sound, and it really affects how you play. I mean, you play to the pedal, not the other way around. I think there's some cool sounds in there. If you're the kind of person that likes to mess with things, you might enjoy this pedal. If you want a pedal that you're going to slap on it and it's going to sound good right away, you won't want this pedal, I guess. I'm not trying to give it a bad review. I think it kind of is what it's supposed to be. You know, electro harmonics, they come out of acid rock in the late 60s and early 70s. And music's never been as good then, but it was experimental, crazy, psychedelic. And I think this is kind of a sort of a product like, you know, who's the guy that played at Woodstock? Ravi Shankar. So there's maybe even an allusion to that. You know, like George Harrison. It's like a psychedelic. I think I interpret this as a psychedelic rock, acid rock pedal. But it's pretty hard to make it sound in a way that's usable, in my opinion. But I did think, you know, once I settled down into it, I got some good sounds. So I'm going to keep it around. You might hear it occasionally. Thanks. God bless.